You're listening to Live, Loud, and Idiotic, your one-stop shop for all counterculture music. One thing I love about music is when when you've got this band that you just absolutely love. Everything they put out is just absolutely incredible. But, they'll go on a hiatus or they don't make music for a really long time. And you're not necessarily stuck with what they've got, but you're left wanting more, and for this extended period of time, you're just like, is there going to be more?
You're stuck in this like almost black hole of nothing.
Right, yeah, and you're just stuck listening to like the same songs again. I mean, you love the songs, but you're like,
but you want something. You need something new. You want something new.
Tool fan ever.
Yeah, I figured if anybody, you would understand the most. Yeah, totally.
What was it? 13 years between two albums.
Yeah.
God damn.
Well, I mean, it wasn't that far off for, this next band with Westbound Train. It wasn't that far off.
Actually, it's about 13 years. Like, I'm not very good at math, but yeah, from their last album to the newest album, it was about 13 years. So
yeah, because it just came out, October 5th?
Yeah, a surprise, too.
Just out of the blue, just like, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Because, they put out one of the singles, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 11 years. 11 years.
So, a decade at least.
Since a full album.
Yeah, and they put out a single 2 years ago, and it gave me so much hope. Like, oh hell yeah, we're gonna get new music. We're gonna get new music. And finally,
you sit there and you're just like, I don't know what's going on.
And then crickets again for sure. And so. Surprise, everybody! We've got a new Westbound Train album, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's called Dedication. It's incredible. First album in 11 years. So we thought this would be a great topic for our first album review / band spotlight.
Yeah, I mean, it almost just happened perfectly to where we were talking about the direction that we want this podcast to go and whatnot. We're like, we want to talk about local music scenes, but we also just really want to talk about bands and albums and whatnot that freshly come out. And you hit us up on the group chat, and all of a sudden it's just like, lo and behold, somebody just comes right out of the fucking
right out of the gates.
Right out of the gates, just like, hey, here's some new shit.
Yeah, check it out. And it's so funny because it was I think a day after we recorded our official first episode, our Welcome to Colorado episode. So it was so after that, it was, I was just basking in the glow of, recording another episode. And this Westbound Train album just gets plopped right on my lap. And I'm like, yep, that's happening.
Silver platter.
For real.
It's almost like it was meant to be.
This is what's going to happen right here, right now.
It was meant to be.
So we're gonna take a look at the new album Dedication. And we're gonna throw you a few of our favorite songs off the album, give it a little bit of a review, and then for those of you who don't really know who Westbound Train, we're gonna get into the band, and we're gonna take a look at their other past records.
Yeah. Well, and it's before you messaged us about this, I'd never listened to Westbound Train. Same. And this last week, it's just been all right, with the 3 albums that I have on Apple Music, because yes, Apple Music, it kind of sucks because I'm missing a good album off of it, but
the way to be a product whore.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? I don't have to pay for it, so suck it. All right, it's free music at the touch of my fingertips without YouTube. I don't have to listen to ads, and if I lock my phone, it still plays.
So is he really more of a product whore, or is he just poor?
I think he's just
poor. Yeah, I'm just Well,
just a whore.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to kick this off before we get into the tracks that we really liked off of it with just a little something Obi Fernandez, the lead singer, said about this new album. So Obi says, this album, though a long time in the making, is a really great snapshot of where Westbound Train is as a band. In a way, it's very much a coming home for us, and Dedication was the perfect description for the homecoming. After all these years, we've been dedicated to our craft, this genre, and most importantly, we wanted to pay tribute to one of the one and only Gene Merritt, who we chose to proudly display on the cover. Dedication is a culmination of everything we love. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's really good. I like that.
That's a perfect explanation of, like, you know, coming back into it, and like also the dedication that you have to produce music after 11 years of almost nothing.
Oh, absolutely, and you can hear it in the band.
Yeah,
I mean, from day one and all the way up to dedication, you can hear how much they really truly love this band and how much they truly love playing music.
And honestly, if I didn't have the little thing down at the bottom tell me when an album was released, I wouldn't have known that it was 11 years.
No,
since it's one of those, they jumped right back into it, and it sounds like it was just a year or two. Like, it just sounds like they just kept things going.
They never missed a beat on this. Like, going through, like, listening to Dedication, then going through and listening to all the past albums that I could find, it really did not seem like they missed a step or a beat or anything with this. Is they just kept going, and it's amazing when a band does that too. Like, and even if they changed a bit, that, like, growth in a band shows from time to time and whatnot. And if they feel like they grew in some way and they changed a few things here and there, then it doesn't. To me, I didn't hear that sound of a big change to them, which, again, to me, I think is really awesome. Like, the fact that they can take so long between albums and that big of a hiatus and still come back and just be so cohesive together to just continue with what they're doing.
And throw an absolute barn burner out. You know? Yeah.
Oh, no.
And that proves to how much dedication they do have to it, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's get into the tracks we liked. Let's start you off. Let's start Sven off here.
Yeah, Sven. Welcome back, Sven.
Thank you.
We missed you the last episode.
Right? Yeah. How dare you have to work,
Mr. Workman over here,
Mr. Blue Collar.
Got COVID.
Well, maybe if I don't know. Actually, fuck.
Yeah.
But, so
maybe.
So Sven's the guy to call out when anybody calls out of work. So all right,
no shit.
All right, Graham, tell us a song that you want to privy off the new album.
All right, so not gonna lie, I have never heard this band before up until you suggested this, Cody. And I instantly fell in love. I started, obviously, with the new album. Because this is what we're going to do, is the album spotlight for the new album. We'll talk a bit about the band a little later on. But for me, with most bands, like especially bands that I'm just getting into and I'm just introduced to, if that first track does not hit right, I'll still give them a couple tracks, but if that first track doesn't hit right, I'm like, no, I'm not listening to that.
Yeah, it's
no doubt.
But Mercy, Watch Over Me,
yeah,
those first few notes, just that entire track just resonated with my soul. And I was like, okay, this is a band I can easily fall in love with. And again, you're saying it's been about 11 years since they put out an album, so I was like, how long have they been around? And they haven't been around that long, only about 20 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let's look up the rest of it. Let's keep going down this. And it, again, like I said, Mercy, Watch Over Me fucking really hit me.
Yeah.
And just sucked me right into the band. And honestly, I love the album. I love the new album. And going back through listening to everything, I really love the old, like, bit of reggae, a little reggaeton two-tone. Mm-hmm. And yeah, some of the songs have a little funk aspect, and I just love the diversity that they have on this for this band, and
Even the mix of Motown and a little bit of blues.
Well, it's,
Motown
it's
blues,
kind of like they did a compilation of everything that they like. Every bit of music that they loved, like this album, and actually all of their albums, it like kind of shows the range that they have.
Yeah, and I think this is, not gonna lie, my new favorite band. One of my new favorite bands.
I love it.
Like, I have my, list of bands that I fucking love, die hard, I'll listen to every fucking thing they put out and whatnot, but this right here, Westbound Train, just became, up there in the top 5 of my favorite fucking bands.
Nice.
It's
you did that, Cody.
Yes,
that's
Cody
you.
Did that. Thank you, Cody.
I'm going to make a badge.
Thank you, Sven.
Vodka Gold.
But, and yeah, this is a song, like, this is a band that I listen to when I'm closing up at work and, cleaning up and there's nobody else there. I turn off all the other music and just put them on my phone and listen to them while I'm doing everything else.
Now, the one thing I don't agree with in the song you're talking about, the song that you want to have us listen to, is why would anybody want to be taken back to Ohio?
Well, actually, that's actually a reference to one of their older songs.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Come and Get It. He actually spent a lot of time in Ohio, and there's a little love, interest in Ohio. So it's actually kind of a reference to like his past and past music. So
well, I guess I've only been to Ohio once for like half a day, so I can't really talk.
It's not that great.
Yeah, I will say that like a beautiful sunrise, and it was all misty. But other than that, yeah.
No, my only experience with Ohio is coworkers I've had that left Ohio.
Yeah.
And they said, things to do in Ohio.
Leave.
And my father will say the same. He grew up in Ohio. He said he'll never go back to that shithole ever again. So, hey, let's spin it, man.
Let's spin it up.
All right, so
we're gonna start this off with Mercy Watch Over Me. It's the first track off of Dedication.
Let's spin it. All right, man. So that was Mercy Watch Over Me off the new album Dedication. So I'm gonna take the reins here, give you my little pick for the new album. I've got to go Gunfight, guys. Gunfight, such an incredible song. I mean, beautiful reggae song, and it puts that old spin on the old saying, never bring a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah.
And what I love about Obi Fernandez's lyrics is that he has such a great way of mixing in, social issues with, stuff that he's learned in his own light.
Yeah, and I like how he does it in a certain way to where it's not like preachy on social issues. It's like you said, his own personal experience with it, and it's not something to where you can tell, like, because you can tell when vocalists and songwriters are just going off trends and bullshit like that.
Yeah, and trying to be like edgy or divisive and stuff. Yeah. But and Obi doesn't do that. He puts it truly in his own words, as all lyricists should do.
Yes.
And he has such a way with words. Anyways, it's so incredible to hear him just sing about it and bring it to light in his own way. So like I said, he's got such a good way with words, and I mean, that's really the big reason why I love Westbound Train so much, is that he can mix those social issues with how he's dealt with it and what he's learned from it and how he's grown as a person with it, just as Westbound Train has grown as a band.
Yeah.
So it keeps such a a down to earth, just beautiful way of bringing these things to light.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can hear it throughout every one of their albums. I mean, every single song has such a great meaning to it, and such a great message to go along with it. It's just, I love it so much. So, without further ado, guys, I guess we'll hop right back into it with Gunfight.
Yeah. So that was a killer song. I mean,
Gunfight's incredible.
The flute,
yeah.
The flute in that. I mean, I don't think I'm too far line saying a little bit of Anchorman in there, like the little
bit of Aqualung,
little bit of dancing flute and whatnot. You know, you just gotta sway with the flute.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that.
I mean, really, it is hard to pick like specific songs off this album because it's a wonderful album. It's a killer album.
Oh, dude! Ever since we decided to do this episode, it's taken me pretty much all the way up until we started recording to decide which songs I was going to pick. Man, it's unreal how many just straight bangers these dudes put out.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, this is the introduction to this band for me, and I was like, I can't find one that sticks out the most out of all of that I've listened to over the past week.
Yeah, I wanted to listen. I wanted to listen to them at work a lot, but I have to have a radio on me or whatnot. But also at the same time, it's like I feel like I'm not getting the best experience listening with one headphone in at work. I need to like immerse myself in them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I did try to listen to them any chance I got, and it was just one of those things where it's like, man, it's a little difficult to pick what song. But, for me, it's a Room to Breathe because it's, as I was saying to you earlier, it's like I kind of found myself like I just love dirty reggae. Like, because it opens up and it's got that like real dirty reggae vibe. Like, as we talked about in our intro episode, Agrolites, it just has that same fucking sound to where it's just, you just want to go, ooh, yes. I kind of want to just like, I want to dance, but I don't want to dance too fast or too hard. I just kind of want to groove to this shit right now.
For sure.
Find that right groove.
Move your shoulders back and forth and just get
vibe.
Into it.
You're not really dancing. You're just sitting there, just swaying.
You're grooving. You're grooving to the music. You're grooving to the beat, man.
Yeah, you're just vibing super hard on it.
Vibing way too hard.
And what's crazy is Room to Breathe. They've had that on past like samplers of albums. Yeah. But they also have the first version of it on 5 to 2. Which
I can't. I don't have that access to that
because you're poor. I get it.
Yes, because I'm poor.
Yeah, all right,
Mr.
Poor little Jeff. Poor little Jeff.
Mr. Deep Pockets.
Maybe I just dedicate my money to something more important.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say dedicate my money things to unimportant things.
But I mean, I say that now. But I mean, Searching for a Melody, their first album, is not even on Spotify. Yeah. So I'm sans one Westbound Train record as well. Yeah. So not everybody has the cake and they can eat it too.
I was trying to find it, and it was just being a pain in the ass trying to get it.
I think it's one of those like to have to pay a shitload of money for a record and whatnot. Like you could probably find it online, but it's probably not cheap.
I mean, that album's amazing. I'd probably pay at least $20 for it for sure. Probably a little more, especially if it was on vinyl. Especially if it was on vinyl, because
I'm thinking you're gonna go like 45.
45, maybe 50. If I get a good paycheck. But yeah, what I was getting at is that Westbound Train has this thing where they do a reprised song from their older albums. They did it with Salvation. They've done it with a couple other songs, and it's cool because you get that same kind of vibe, but in a different way.
Yeah, they don't change it so much, but they almost, it's like they're perfecting that one that one song.
Exactly, because and that's another. I feel like that adds a little bit more dedication to their craft. Is that, they write a song that they know is like super awesome, and they put it on the record.
But they know it can be better.
Yeah, and when they get better and more tighter, or however you want to call it, they revisit it and they make that song even better as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of cool. I mean, some people might say it's lazy, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think it's lazy. I think that's actually harder because, like, I've been in bands before, and I'm not saying like I'm a great musician, but trying to like take something that you've already written and making it better, it's harder to do than to just create a new song.
Right. It's not being complacent.
Yeah, it's because you've already put yourself in this specific sound for it. Unless you want to change it altogether, it's actually really hard to actually bring it to a new level.
Yeah.
I mean, one easy way is, you get a better studio quality, but even then, it's like, that can take away from it.
Yeah, but even with studio quality, like, there's been, other bands I've listened to that it's outside of this genre that have always done this. Like, they take older songs, and they'll have, like, a remastered version, and it's just the better studio quality.
Because they also know they've grown as a band, and they know they can make it better.
There's other bands I've listened to that are like, no, we're going to take this, and because we have grown as a band, we've gotten better.
Yeah.
And I know we can take this song and make it better.
It could also be one of those songs that they
still hit the same things that they originally wrote it for, like that what they wanted to get across. But it sounds crisper. It sounds more on time. Everything is there.
I think maybe it could be like, maybe it was one of their favorite songs, like a song they love playing, and they're like, "Hey, we, like you were saying, we've gotten better as a band. We can make this.
We can make
it so much better.
Make it sound
or gotten more creative.
Yeah, and get even more creative with it. Like they can, just like, okay, hold on. What if we change this section for music, these tones?
Yeah,
it's like, okay, let's cut the horns down on this, and let's bring the drums up on this.
Yeah, or hey, let's throw this into it that we didn't have before.
Even just throw in a new instrument that we didn't have and see how that plays out. And sometimes it really fucking works out really well.
Yeah,
and that is one of the things that I do like when I listen to bands that I've listened to the entire discography, their entire collection and everything, is hearing a song that was recorded like 20 something years ago and then hearing it again, but I'm like, wait, they changed the music on this and it works even better. That's one of the things that I like about and like I said, I just got introduced to this band, but I could hear growth between albums.
Yeah.
Especially with this hiatus that they took.
Yeah.
Is I can hear some of the growth with the music. And I've seen this in other bands throughout, my life that I've listened to.
Time again.
Time and time again. And I've also seen other bands some bands just go, no, we're just going to
keep the same old.
We're just going to take the damn the song. And,
sorry.
No, you're not.
No.
But we're going to take this. We're going to take this one song that everybody likes and that we like, and we're just going to
make it the same.
We're going to make it the same, but just punch up stuff through.
Turn the bass up.
Yeah, we're not going to actually re-record it. We're just going to fix it with the computer.
Just toss it out there.
Yeah,
whatever.
And then toss it out there.
Yeah.
And I can go on about this, but this, because there is one specific song by one specific band right now that I can think of, but we're not talking about them today.
Yeah, we're talking about. This is all about Westbound Train.
All right, man. So
let's get into it. Let's get into the song.
All right, let's spin up some Room to Breathe off of Dedication.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right, let's do it.
So yeah, boys, that was Room to Breathe off of the new album Dedication. That's it for our little highlights for Dedication. I mean, definitely after, if you listen to this podcast and you got something to do, the first thing you should be doing right now is listening to Dedication.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
definitely
get into the band, but Dedication is it's fucking killer.
It's an incredible introduction to the band. If I'm here, if I'm smelling what you guys are stepping in.
No, you're not wrong, because I didn't start with the first album I can find. No, I started with Dedication.
Yeah, you sent that to us.
Back and I was like, oh yeah, no, this band is amazing.
Fucking bet. Yeah.
Tasted those Fritos earlier.
You fucking DJ.
Hey, you're the one that asked me to help with this.
I know. I'm
this
really
was your mistake.
No, keep going, Grandpa.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, Sven.
Yep, not gonna live that one down.
No.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, no. So Westbound Train's out of Boston, Massachusetts. They formed O2.
Yep. Their debut album, independently released, was "Searching for a Melody."
Yeah, that was "Searching for a Melody." Like you said, was independent.
Was it O2 or O1?
O2.
Oh, okay.
O2. Their first album, their independent album, was released in 3.
Yeah, O3.
But, dude, you got to think. You got to play for about a year or so before you actually get an album released out.
Yeah. And to sound as tight as they did on "Searching for a Melody," for sure.
Which I really want to find the fucking album and listen to it, because that's their debut.
Yeah.
But, and like I said, it's been a pain in the ass trying to find it.
I say once we do find it, we should just throw it into another episode, so that way we can have everybody listen to it, just spin it straight off.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, just have a callback episode for specifically that one.
Well, and the reason why we're not going to be playing a lot of "Searching for a Melody" on this episode is because Anchor, our lovely podcast distributor, offers...
They're killer.
Offers us to actually play any song off of Spotify that we want. So so we're kind of handcuffed in that way. Just for this episode, but luckily we do have a track that we'll be able to play. But I mean, going back to Westbound Train as a whole, I mean, just an incredible band out of Boston, and I mean, if you're into the punk and ska scene, I mean, there's been so many incredible bands that come out of Boston. I mean,
Boston. I mean, you got hardcore.
Oh yeah,
you got hardcore. You got ska, and you got punk. But I mean, I feel like their two biggest are ska and hardcore.
Seriously,
dual opposites of each other.
Yeah,
they just do so well.
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, you got Big D and the Kids Table, the Allstonians. I mean, obviously the big one, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Oh yeah.
I mean, unbelievable bands coming out of Boston, and I think that goes back to what we were kind of touching at on our last episode, is just how tight their scene is.
Yeah.
And from the bands that are coming out of there, and just all the love that they have for the Boston ska and punk or hardcore scene is just,
I will say,
it's absolutely incredible.
Anybody that I've met from Boston is just hardcore Boston.
Oh yeah.
Even then, when they're here, it's fuck you, Boston's better.
Yeah, hey, you packed a cat in Sully spot, fuck you.
Yeah, that's fucking Sully spot, and you better get.
And you know what? Fucking Boston hardcore.
Fucking Boston hardcore.
Sorry, I'm not making fun. I really like speaking in a Boston accent. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
you're nice Bostonian.
At the same time,
I
know you love your bees. You love your Bruins.
I mean, and you can even say that for the hockey fans out in Boston. I mean, they love their fucking Bruins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that blue collar kind of mentality. It's just major pride in where you come from, where you work, where you play, and it comes through in any of the music that they play as well.
I think that's with you saying that, it's kind of a good segue into maybe why Alex Desert from Hepcat and King Django, even when Westbound Train was new, they still came in and did shit on their records. On their first
first
fucking
two
record?
independent records too.
Yes, they came on.
5 to 2 was the second independent record. That one, yes, is on Spotify, but yeah, 5 to 2 was their second independent record, and yeah, you have people from Hepcat coming on to help them out. And play
and then
with them.
Stomp Records realized that this was a fucking album to have, so they re-released it in 2006.
Yeah,
and it's one of those just to show it's like there's a reason that like I think they should be bigger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They should be so much bigger because it's one of those things where just like for like I would say like when you talk about like reggae ska, the pedigree of those two people that came onto the record is huge.
I mean, Alex Desert and a Desert. What the fuck, dude? I might have had a few
Got
lagers
cake
tonight,
on the mind.
But yeah, Alex Desert and King Django, dude.
Yeah.
King Django is one of the biggest reggae heavy hitters you could have.
Yeah.
And I mean, on your first album, have him doing guest vocals and stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Unreal, dude. So you've got something there, and it just shows.
Well, and then from there they went to Hellcat.
Yeah,
they were on
and
three consecutive Give 'Em the Boot compilations.
For them to get on Hellcat was a weird one. Like it was just, it was. I could be a stroke of luck. I don't know, but because it was at a transplant show that Tim Armstrong got a copy of one of their demos.
Yeah.
And listened to it, fucking loved them.
Yeah.
Signed them, put them on.
That man is all about music.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
that man
all
is
about music.
He's so much about music.
Yeah.
Everything about it. But yeah, the fact that he straight is like, okay, I love what you have. I'm going to sign you. And I also want you on my next Transplants album.
Yeah, doing the backing man on Haunted Cities.
Yeah. Like just that I want to say that's their big break, but again, like I said, it's one of those that I never heard of these people until you told me about them, Cody, and I fell in love instantly. I think that they really should like get that recognition of how amazing they really are.
I'm actually surprised that we didn't know about them before because they played with Catch-22, Big D and the Kids Table. They've played with Suburban Legends, and it's one of those to where it's like, how have they played with this many bands? And it's just bands that we love, and we never fucking heard of them until Cody came along.
Partly what it is I think some of those bands that they were playing with, those were tours, and sadly, which really... It really does make me sad about this because Denver and Colorado does have a good ska and punk scene and following, and why some of these bands just skip over Colorado.
Well, I mean, in the early 2000s, we didn't have as strong as a scene as we do, so maybe that's why.
That's true too. Yeah.
But I will tell you this: how I got into Westbound Train was the Ska Is Dead tour with Catch-22 and Big D and the Kids Table.
Okay.
I missed that show.
Oh, yeah, that was about 20 years ago. Right now. Wait, no, I'd be 12. That's not right. When I was 16 years old, the 2006 Ska Is Dead tour is when I saw Westbound Train open for Big D and the Kids Table and Catch-22.
I think I was only 14
and
when that happened.
Yeah, and that was like during my formative years of like really getting into a ska show.
Yeah. Suburban,
ska bands.
Streetlight.
And in Suburban too. Suburban. Yeah, that was
too.
Yeah. Jeff pulling the rails off of this episode again. He's asking for a cigarette.
Yeah, well, I thought I had enough.
I'm gonna make you.
You're gonna call me out like that. I tried so hard to be subtle about this.
When you have a cigarette sitting right in front of you, too, you blind bastard.
Oh, I do. I think I've had.
Back for those of you watching at home, Jeff does wear glasses, but apparently can't see.
Yeah, no. So I'm the idiotic part of this podcast. I think we've already established that within 2 episodes. I think we've already established that.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, yeah, back to Westbound Train. So yeah, and I'm so proud that I got to find out about this band at a live show. You know, and
How were they?
Unfucking real.
I could only imagine, man. Like, fuck. Dude, I hope. I
was sitting in the crowd and I was literally just love struck as soon as they came on.
Well, hey, fingers crossed that usually when a band releases a new album,
they're going on tour.
They tour.
Please, boys, come out to Denver again.
Please.
We love you so much.
Anybody who might hear this anytime soon who could possibly know anybody from Westbound Train, tell them to come to Denver, please.
But no, I mean, and what I wanted to say is just when you do find a band, like a new band at a live show,
yeah,
that it's just so much more special that way.
Yeah, that's I would arguably say that's one of the best ways to find a new band.
There's no better way. I mean, especially if that band is playing live and they sound that great, it's it's second to none. It really is. Like the Interrupters, I found out about them when they played with the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones a few years ago when they first released their first album. I mean, I saw one music video for, I think it was I think it was Family.
Yeah.
But that's all I knew about him. And then when I saw him live, it was just amazing. And with the Far East, I saw them open for the Specials, and the Far East, incredible reggae dub band from New York.
Well, that's how I found out about Hepcat, was seeing them live with Flogging Molly.
Exactly.
And I'll agree. That's second to none. Because especially these bands that play so well live. And it's one of those, you almost feel like, you don't feel like you're getting less with the albums, but it's still, it just ignites that love.
Major passion.
I going on what we're talking about seeing bands that are live and just how much, how amazing they are and whatnot. I'm trying not to derail and probably will derail real quick. But, no, one year I went to go see Primus.
This train has no tracks.
No, this Westbound Train has no tracks.
Oh, wow. Love it.
But I went to go see Primus at Red Rocks, and Gogol Bordello opened for him. I'd only heard a couple tracks for them. I'd never seen them. The energy was so fucking much. I actually forgot Primus was going to come on stage.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge.
That takes a lot, too, because I know how much you fucking love Primus.
So, but this also goes back to being introduced to bands through live shows. Like I said, I only heard a couple songs from them, but seeing them live and the energy and hearing them, it's one of those that I was like, oh, no, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Yeah. And it's the same way, like Jeff, like you said, when I saw Hepcat.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, these guys are fucking amazing. This is awesome. And I really do want to see a Westbound Train show.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we should start with that.
Start a petition or a Kickstarter or something.
Yeah.
Live Loud and Idiotic, bring a Westbound Train back to Denver.
We'll just hit him up over Facebook. Live Loud Idiotic. Yeah, it's 3 idiots, but we want you in Denver.
We want you.
Oh God, we want you so bad.
Just all over.
Now they're not, after hearing that, they're probably like, dude, I'm not fucking stepping foot in Colorado.
Fuck these weirdos, man.
All right, man. Well, so let's bring it. Let's take it into "Say It Twice," one of their wonderful, wonderful singles off of "Searching for a Melody." Let's spin it. All right, so that was "Say It Twice" off of their first album ever, Searching for a Melody. So we're going to move right into the next album, 5 to 2, second independent record, which we had mentioned earlier, where King Django and Alex Desert do a little like guest vocals on.
No, I just got to correct for myself. Is it Django or Django?
I guess it's really whichever way you prefer to speak. I always thought it was Django, but I mean, yeah, that's just me. Maybe it's my fucked up brain.
I mean, hey,
I like pronouncing things weird.
Weird.
See how I pronounced weird.
I mean, we are live, loud, and idiotic, so
as per usual.
We shouldn't pronounce everything right, but yeah. Keep going.
But no,
sorry.
I mean, 5 to 2, Searching for a Melody was really just like very like reggae, ska, and dub based. I think 5 to 2 is where they really started to sort of kind of branch out and do a little more, Motown soulish. And they were still working through it. And I mean, the way they went about it was very just perfect, honestly. Yeah. And the way I see it is like, what a great second album to an already just like like groundbreaking first album for sure. And I mean, this is at this point is really where I saw them live. So this album means a little something extra to me, because I bought this record at the show.
Yeah.
Or CD, I guess, if you will. And I just spent hours upon hours listening.
Just jamming it out and just not even taking it out of the player.
No way. Yeah. And what's really cool about this album is like Right on Time with Hepcat. I can't. The name escapes me. Who Hepcat had on to start off Right on Time. Mm-hmm. That was speaking to him over the phone or whatever. Yeah. But Westbound Train did the same thing with Alex Desert on this.
Well, I mean, it starts, "Hey man, this is Dad, man. Yeah. It's really cool. This is Right on Time."
It's right on, and Alex. They did the same kind of thing with Alex Desert, and that's kind of what I thought when I first heard of Westbound Train. It was like, dude, this is that Hepcat style. Mm-hmm. This is the same kind of caliber as Hepcat, and that's what really drew me to him. So the next song we're gonna play is "Bigger Things in Mind." That song that Alex Desert starts out.
Well, I mean, I think that perfectly encompasses like everything they've done is just that. The word "bigger things in mind." They've always had bigger things in mind.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And what's also great about it is like how I had mentioned about Gunfight is basically Obi just encapsulating just his what he's been through and the stuff that he's gone through and what he's learned from it. This is like the perfect song to really kind of second that.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's spin it, man. Bigger Things in Mind off of 5 to 2. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right, so that was Bigger Things in Mind off of the 5 to 2 record, the Westbound Train's second incredible album. We're going to move on to number 3, Transitions, and this is the point where Westbound Train got signed on to Hellcat with Tim Armstrong.
You could say we're transitioning into it.
We're transitioning into a new album. Yes, that is so true.
I think that's a very good transition.
Is it?
I think that was a good transition.
The longer we hang around, we're going to just keep talking about how great that transition was.
I think it's the best transition ever.
It's an amazing transition.
All right, so I'm going to...
It's a hell of a transition.
I'm going to end this fucking shit show right here. So, yeah, so Transitions was the first album that they were actually signed to a major label, Hellcat Records. It was, just an incredible,
It's it's a good opportunity and a leap for him.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, with like Tim Armstrong, it's a very good, like, he gives. It's kind of like Interrupters, to where it's like you go from nobody to somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of those, once you get onto like a label like that, it just kind of elevates your shit.
It propels you into.
There we go. That's what I was trying to say.
A lot more ears. You know,
yes,
it really
that's what I was trying to say.
It gives you so many more avenues to go down, and I mean, they were provided so many more opportunities, and I mean, shoot, dude, I remember seeing them on a tour with the Necromantics and Bedouin Sound Clash.
Well, I mean, they were so Give 'Em the Boot 4. The Necromantics was on it, as well as fucking his horror pops and whatnot. Where it's just like, I mean, the pedigree of the shit. Like, since Tim Armstrong found him, and he put him on Hellcat with this album. Ever since then, they were on like 3 different Give 'Em the Boot records, and the people that they were with, he like gave them such a platform and a stage to like shine.
Right,
and also not only that, the Fall of Ska tour that you saw them on, like that was later in the year. Earlier in that same year, they were on Summer of Ska, and honestly, I think it's because Armstrong found them, loved them, brought them on to his label, brought them into, Transplants, and was just like, nope, here,
he threw them out into the music ether, just like, here, let's do this.
Let's do this. Let's just get you out there so everybody can fucking hear you.
And you know what? With this album, you can definitely tell just like the quality of recording, and
it's
not
them
only
breaking out.
Yeah, and not only that, but I mean the songwriting, the musical arrangement became so much. Not like they weren't great on the first 2 albums.
They just got tighter.
They were already fairly tight. It just now that they had a better, bigger record label, they weren't self-producing. Their sound was a lot better, a lot tighter. But
they had that leeway of not taking pocket money to record it. It was now, a contract, and with it to where they had the ability to take a little bit more time in the studio.
Yeah, absolutely. The opportunity, more studio time, and you can tell in the album, and when you listen to it, and I expect you all to listen to it.
Pretty pleasing, thank you.
Pretty pleasing, thank you. That you guys will notice how just incredible, like the step that they took with this album, for sure. So
it is one of those to where, I've listened to the record before, but it almost seemed like a completely new band. Like they still had the same aspects, but when I was listening to this album, I was just sitting there thinking like this sounds like a band that's on a higher level. Than they were before.
Yeah, and like I said on 5 to 2, but even more so now, the Motown and the soul really started to like get better.
Yes, absolutely.
Find a more whole sound with those other aspects of it, and I mean even with like the blues aspect as well. I mean, I'm no different. Total blues song, if you ask me, for sure. I mean, obviously with a reggae twist, but I mean, you can tell that in this album they were really starting to find a real incredible stride.
Yeah.
So, what we're going to do, we're going to spin I Feel Fine for you guys. Hope y'all enjoy it. We'll see you back in a minute.
This music makes me feel fine.
I feel fine.
Yeah. What about you, Sven?
Oh, I feel fine.
Yeah, more brah.
Yeah, brah.
All right, so that was I Feel Fine off of Transitions, and as we transition to the next album, we're talking about Come and Get It, their final album before Dedication. And I got to tell you, man, this was probably one of the most like wide-ranging of all the albums that we talked about up until Dedication, for sure.
No, and it's like you can tell the progression in it to where, like, as we said earlier, listen to each of them, and if you didn't have like a timeline to go by, they all sound the same. But you could also put them in order to see the progressive, like the better steps that they made to become not just a better band or a good band, but just tight knit.
But to also see just how they move, like as a band, as musicians, how they grow, because they have had multiple different band members throughout their entire history.
But just like any other band,
and you lose somebody, you bring somebody in, that person can come in, fill in that spot, but they're also going to sit there and
the great thing that they
something new.
Well, the great thing that they
can work with.
I think the great thing that they've had is when they get new band members in, it doesn't take away from the band. It like you can't really tell too much, and it like they bring people in that elevate the band, which is. It's hard to find. Yeah. When you lose somebody, it's hard to find somebody that can come in and like jive with the band right away and make it better.
Yeah,
but they've done that countless times. Because I mean, when I was looking at their history, they've been through a good handful or a handful and a half of members.
Yeah,
and each time it's like. It's not something that is overtly overtly obvious.
Nothing that detracts from the actual sound.
I think that also like gives merit to them as a band itself to have that, and to have it to where you can't really tell. That speaks volumes for a band where like how they have like and control themselves and whatnot. And I'm spacing on the actual phrase to say it, but like how they like build themselves as a band and whatnot, to the fact that they can have it like that.
The cohesively they work.
The cohesive,
cohesively they work together, like with new band members coming, like older band members leaving, new band members coming in, and the new members picking up the old songs, and then when it comes to new tracks, adding to
and having something to give to it.
It speaks to them as musicians, to where the natural chemistry is just there.
Yeah, and it's one of those where
each album,
it's hard to find people that can do that. You know, with it, when you take even like huge bands and whatnot, you can tell when somebody leaves the band and somebody new comes in. But the fact that you can't really tell that much, if at all, with Westbound Train, like that's incredible. That is something that blows my mind, which is also why like I do like them so much after you showed them to us and told us about it, and I was looking into it, and it's like how do you go through this many fucking members and still like never miss a beat?
Yeah, well, it's a credit to them for finding incredible musicians and being incredible musicians themselves.
Yeah, it's something you don't find regularly.
I mean, let's take a look at all the genres that are that come through and come and get it. I mean, obviously you got the big three like ska, reggae, dub, of course, but then you're getting
funk.
You're getting into like an entire second tier. I mean, you got funk, Motown, soul, and even gospel. You know,
and it's one of those, they do everything so they like their newest album. They have dedication. They dedicate themselves to that specific genre that they're playing for that song so well that you would think that they've been playing this their whole fucking life.
Oh yeah.
And it's a one song. It's like you'll go from a reggae ska song or you'll go from a dirty reggae song to gospel or funk, and it's one of those to where you're thinking, is this the same band? Is this the same band? Like, it sounds the same. Holy shit, this is the same band.
Yeah.
And they just do it perfectly.
Yeah, along that note, is along the note of all the different genres that they bring in, is that you look at some of the bigger reggae, or not reggae, you look at some of the bigger funk bands, they're constantly changing people.
Yeah.
Like, P-Funk has had, it's like 10 people on stage, but they've had like 50 people
in the band,
in that band. And they still keep the groove.
They won't give up the funk.
No, they won't give up the funk.
Good
they
for
will
them.
never give up the P-Funk.
No.
but no, this is one of those bands that's just that to me, I feel the same way. Like,
Yeah. No matter what they do.
Having looked at how many band members they currently have and how many band members they've had and they're switched out, it's one of those. I'm like, wow, they've never lost their step throughout this entire time.
Yeah,
they've added
through those struggles. They've never lost a step in their stride.
Yeah, they've added more to it, and they just keep going. And I honestly hope it's not going to be another 11 fucking years before another album.
Me too, man. I'm gonna be 40 fucking 2 when that happens. No.
Oh no, that's a good number. That's the answer to life, universe, and everything.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's my favorite number.
But I don't want to be that age when I hear the next Westbound Train album.
No, you'd rather it be in like another year or two.
Yeah, that'd be optimal.
Come on, Westbound Train, do it again.
Mentioned earlier, I'd love to see him live. Going back through and whatnot, and I'm really hoping that they put out another album sometime soon, but I also don't want them to just rush an album.
Right.
No.
Because that's one thing that I've noticed with some bands that, they have that gap in their albums is because they're actually working on it. They're trying to refine what they can do and just have it to be not the best of the best, but the best that they have right now. Yeah. And then they can be better.
Well, I feel like, with this next song off this album, it's their title song. For Come and Get It, I mean, that's the best thing you can think of. Get it.
It's got the reason why I love this song too is because it's got so much attitude, like the right kind of like. It's
kind of like Gunfight.
It's got the perfect attitude, and it's like it's sassy. It's like, dude, like this is me. I'm not perfect, but you know what? Fuck you. Come and get it. You know.
And that's one thing that I noticed listening to Come and Get It, and then now the new album is I did notice that growth. Between the two, but them just really again wanting to refine everything, make sure we're not just going to shove an album out, we're not just going to put an album out, we're going to work on this, and we're going to fucking make it good, and you're going to love it.
And the one thing that does bug me about some bands is that they feel like it's necessary to just keep pumping out records. And I felt that's kind of how the Interrupters' second and third album was. Yeah. And I felt like it showed because a lot of the songs were just kind of more like the same song, just like different lyrics in a sense. And or vice versa, the same kind of lyrics but different song. Yeah. But I mean, and I'll tell you this right now. Their newest album, In the Wild, they took some time.
In the Wild is. I'd actually like to do a segment on In the Wild because
I would love to too.
That is a fucking just breath of fresh air of a new album.
Yeah. Well, then our next album spot episode we do.
Fuck it, let's do In the Wild.
All right, yeah, for sure. Because in that case, I will leave the rest of my opinions at the door, and let's spin Come and Get It.
Yeah. Let's come and get it, motherfuckers.
So yeah, that was Come and Get It off of Come and Get It, Westbound Train's last episodes before this last one, Dedication.
Oh, and they went and got it.
Oh, they always
went
get
and
it.
Got that.
So final thoughts, boys. Let's start with Graham over here.
Yeah.
My final thoughts on this. I thoroughly impressed with this band. I was just introduced to them with Dedication. It was an amazing album. I started going back through and everything I love, like everything I've heard, I love. There's not a single track that I'm like, no, skip, fuck this song. I don't care about it. And I am looking forward to see what more they do in their musical career and whatnot. And even if some of the band members, they go off and do something else, I'd be interested to see that band, and then because I hope that it doesn't come down to that the current group splits off, because I believe that they are solid in my mind, and I really, really do want to see them live, and I really want to see what they can produce next. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, just to put a little lead in your pencil real quick, Obi Fernandez has a great solo album out on Spotify as well. So,
okay, I'll look that up.
Yeah. What about you there, Jeffrey?
And so, it's kind of like the same thing that Graham said, to where I didn't know who they were until you told us about them, and I love them. I'd like to hear more from them. I'd absolutely love to see them.
Maybe spring for Spotify Premium.
Yeah, I might spring for that.
Mr.
I might just
Apple.
spring for that one more album.
Sorry, continue.
But it's just one of those to where, I mean, I think the main point that we have about this podcast is introducing each other and everybody else to new music.
Right, absolutely.
And sharing the love, and this is the perfect example to have for this episode being our second episode, but our third episode kind of thing.
Yeah.
To where it just shows that Graham and I and you and all of us, we don't know everything about shit.
Yeah, for real.
But it's perfect because we all came together and we found these bands, and we're showing each other these bands, and Westbound Train just kind of symbolizes the
mission statement.
The mission statement of this, to where it's just we know so little about shit.
Yeah.
But there's so much good music out there, and I never pictured that I would it's just one of those bands that they have so much to offer.
So much substance.
And it, like Graham said, I don't find myself wanting to skip songs, man.
Yeah.
I want to listen to everything that they have, and I want more of them.
Now you know how I've been feeling for the last,
Yeah, I can only imagine what you're feeling for the last 11 fucking years, man.
Oh, I know that feeling.
But, we all know that feeling, but, God, I mean, it was hard to pick songs for this podcast, as to where before with the other two installments, it wasn't hard to pick songs.
Yeah,
man, it wasn't nearly as hard to be like, man, what do I want to listen to? What from this? There's so much, I can't just pick one. But I mean, it also was easy at the same time, because all their shit is delicious. It's just so delicious, man. And, thank you for showing us this, because hot damn. Fucking damn.
I really do appreciate this.
Well, boys, I gotta say I'm absolutely pleased with the results. I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed it, like Westbound Train, as much as I do, because this band has meant so much to me. It's got me through some really great, intense times, especially with Obi's lyrics and just the music and all that. But I'm just so damn stoked that you guys enjoy it just as much as I do, and I hope the listeners out there, you guys enjoy it too. I really hope you guys go out and check more into Westbound Train, because we played a lot of songs today, but that's just the tip of the iceberg with these guys.
Yep, just the tip.
Just the tip, just for a second, just to see how it feels. But
damn it, Cody, you stole what I was gonna say.
Just gotta be quick on the draw there, kid. But no,
but not too quick.
But yes, everybody out there, please, give Westbound Train some time, man. You're not going to be...
Give them some love.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell them Live, Loud, and Idiotic singing. I don't think they'll give a fuck about that. But
Yeah, they'll be like, who?
I'm sure they'll be stoked to that more people are listening to their stuff. And
Yeah.
I know just before we go, we had one more little tidbit about Westbound Train that we were really stoked to kind of send this out on a huge note, because this is the reason why the band is named. So, Graham, take it away.
So, Westbound Train, again, like we talked about earlier, formed in 2002, but they got their name from a song by Dennis Brown.
Amazing
Train.
Yeah.
Dennis Brown is an amazing artist, and this is by far a very, very amazing song.
When he told us about Westbound Train, when I typed it in, I didn't
Dennis
pick on.
Brown
Yeah, I didn't pick on the artist.
band,
I hit the song Westbound Train, and I was like, this isn't right, but I fucking love this.
Yeah,
and then I switched to him and was like, oh, I can tell.
So,
I can tell.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
we're gonna sign off this episode with Dennis Brown's Westbound Train.
And hey,
And one more thing just before we go. We do want to send a huge, huge, huge shout out to Alanis.
Alanis, yeah.
Alanis.
All Anus Morissette. I mean, we love you. We love you, Beebs.
Beebs, we love you.
And you know what, Alanis? I'm so down with being best friends. So we can unite the Holy Trinity and all be best friends. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. And hey, I'm Jeff. That was Cody. And we have
Graham.
Sven. And this is Live, Loud, and Idiotic. Thank you for listening.
And
then this is Westbound.
This is Westbound Train
by Dennis Brown. You almost had it. You were so close.
Oh, yeah. Don't ask for perfection, man.
Oh, for real. All right. So, yeah.
Westbound Train by Dennis Brown coming your way.
Thank you, Westbound Train, and thank you for listening.